Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Look, many of you have heard about the 3M earplug litigation. Now, I know it's not new news, okay, but there has been some big new announcements in that, and it also kind of dawned on me that many of you may not understand exactly what is happening with regard to this litigation with 3M and what does it really mean, and if you've been notified or if you've been talked to or reached out to by attorneys' offices. What are they really trying to do? Did you respond? Did you not? All that stuff. So I just wanted to give a little clarity on exactly what kind of has transpired, what was going on, and then where we're at with all of that. So there's a couple key pieces that I wanted to explain to give a little clarity if you're not sure. So hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. So if you're not a member, consider joining. It helps the channel and it helps me find you in the comments. Let's jump into it. The 3M litigation has been going on again for probably like 3 years. It's been going on for a while. And it dawned on me that many people may not understand exactly what is actually transpiring with all of this. What is it really all about? Some people I've heard believed that it was attorneys just reaching out to veterans potentially to help represent them to get their claims for hearing through the VA. That is not what this is. I've also heard from others that they believed that this was some sort of a class action lawsuit separate from the VA and claims. And, what's a class action? I mean, we've all probably dealt with some sort of class actions and, got our check for $10.37, right? So, no, that's not what this is. It's similar, but it is not what this is. It's called a mass tort, is what it is. And this occurs when there's many people, kind of like a class action, but the dollar payouts are typically much higher. So this is separate from filing a claim with the VA for hearing loss, hearing damages, whatever, through your military service. This is in addition to those things, because most likely you would have filed a claim with the VA for your hearing loss or tinnitus or what have you. So in addition to that, you could potentially get some money if you're represented by a lawyer through this mass tort. So I want to just give the quick definition that I just pulled up on what a mass tort is, so I could just read to you exactly what it is. So a mass tort occurs when people are harmed by the same act or omission. All of those individual victims have claims against the same defendants arising out of the same circumstances. These cases can be combined in a multi-district litigation. And that's what's happening with this 3M thing, right? This litigation with 3M. And there has been, and I don't have all the information in front of me, I've followed it loosely on and off through the years. But basically there has been many trials, not many like small, but multiple trials, many trials with the defendant being 3M, and the veterans who were represented had won probably, I don't know, a little more than half of them, maybe 60 or 70% from kind of what I remember. I don't remember the exact numbers. Some of these cases were multi-million-dollar cases, so they were very, very big. Now, I found an article that popped up today, and that's what prompted me to do this right now. This article came out August 29th, which is today, and just want to read it to you. And it says here, 3M agrees to pay $6 billion with a B to settle earplug lawsuits from U.S. service members. $6 billion's a lot. So let's jump into this here. New York, AP, I'm assuming Associated Press maybe, I don't know. I found this on the Hill. So chemical and consumer product manufacturer 3M has agreed to pay $6 billion to settle numerous lawsuits from U.S. service members who say they experienced hearing loss or other serious injuries after using faulty earplugs made by the company. Now, let me stop right there. stick with me through this, because you're part of this group, or you might still have time, I don't know, to get in on it. You might have to just do a couple quick Google searches and talk to a lawyer. There's going to be a sliding scale of payout. If you just have tinnitus and it's mild, right, you might not get that much. I don't know what the dollar figures are going to be. If you have major hearing loss, right, and tinnitus and migraine headaches as a result of all of that, you're probably going to get a higher payout, right? So there's going to be, and then everything in between. So think about that. So when you think about your hearing, if you're involved in this at all, you want to make sure that you communicate to your lawyer that my tinnitus is not the only thing that I have. I have migraine headaches from the tinnitus. So my conditions as a result of these faulty earplugs equated to this. My migraines and my tinnitus keep me up at night, which then give me insomnia, right? So I can't sleep. So you need to paint that picture for them, in my opinion, is what I would think, to help you get the maximum payout. All right, moving on. The settlement, consisting of $5 billion in cash and $1 billion in 3M stock, will be made in payments that will run through 2029. The agreement, announced by the Minnesota company on Tuesday, which is today, marks a resolution to one of the largest mass torts in U.S. history. Hundreds of thousands of veterans and current service members have reportedly sued 3M, so hundreds of thousands, okay? Last I remembered seeing, it was about 300,000, so that's the number. You got $6 billion. Lawyers are going to take half of it. What's left? A company that 3M acquired 2008 over their combat arms earplugs, right? So again, they're the little dual-sided ones. The service members alleged that the defective design allowed the products, which were intended to protect ears from close-range firearms and louder noises, to loosen slightly and allow hearing damage, according to one of the law firms. One of the law firms representing plaintiffs. And I'll copy this and I'll put it in the description. In an online summary about the combat earplug litigation, the Florida-based law firm notes that 3M previously agreed to pay $9.1 million to settle the lawsuit on behalf of the government, alleging the company knowingly supplied defective earplugs to the U.S. military, and since 2019, and the firm added 3M has lost 10 of 16 cases that have gone to trial. So these were those cases that were trying out to kind of figure out where this was going to go. 10 were for the veterans winning, and six were in favor of 3M, awarding millions of dollars to plaintiffs to date. Tuesday's agreement represents a tremendous victory for the thousands of men and women who bravely served our country and returned home with life-altering hearing injuries. Attorneys representing the plaintiffs said in a joint statement, "We are proud to have obtained this settlement, which ensures that those who suffered hearing damage will receive the justice and compensation they so rightfully deserve." In Tuesday's announcement, 3M maintained that the agreement, which includes all claims in Florida multi-district litigation, coordinated state court actions in Minnesota, and potential future claims, was not an admission of liability. The products at issue in this litigation are safe and effective when used properly, the company wrote. 3M is prepared to continue to defend itself in the litigation if certain agreed terms of the settlement agreement are not fulfilled. 3M has previously tried to reduce exposure to the earplug litigation through bankruptcy court, but the Wall Street Journal reported in 2022, one of its subsidiaries filed for bankruptcy as a separate company, accepting responsibility for claims, but The filing was later dismissed by the U.S. Bankruptcy Court. Beyond the earplug litigation, 3M in June agreed to pay at least $10.3 billion to settle lawsuits over contamination of many of its U.S. public drinking water systems with potentially harmful compounds. The deal would compensate water providers for pollution with I can't say it, the PFAS type, the forever chemicals, right? Also known as forever chemicals. The agreement has, it's that per and polyfluorinated, maybe that's it. Per and polyfluorinated substances, also known as forever chemicals. The agreement hasn't been finalized yet, and the settlement payment could reach as high as $12.5 billion. Last month, 22 attorneys general urged the federal court to reject the proposed settlement, saying it let 3M off too easily, arguing that the deal doesn't give individual water suppliers enough time to determine how much money they would get, and in some cases could shift liability from the company to providers. On Tuesday, New York Attorney General James said that 3M agreed to make significant changes to the settlement terms, which as reflected in a proposed court order, included extending the deadline for eligible water systems to review the settlement and removing uncapped indemnity in favor of 3M. James, along with other attorneys general, it's so hard to say, have now withdrawn their opposition, her office said Tuesday. Still, 5 attorneys general will also be filing letters expressing concerns of the amount and timeline of the settlement payment. California Attorney General announced on Tuesday 3M has agreed to modify its original proposed settlement in critical ways that will benefit the American people, he said in a statement. However, 3M declined to pay an amount that accurately reflects the extraordinary damage it has caused to public drinking water systems, and it declined to provide water suppliers the money to remedy the damage more quickly. The Associated Press reached out to 3M for a comment Tuesday, but there has not been one in reply. So that concludes it. The main point, this was kind of a combined water drinking thing too, both because they had to do with 3M. But the bottom line is 3M has agreed to pay out $6 billion for this mass tort. This earplug litigation is separate from any VA claims. You can file a claim for your tinnitus and your hearing loss, and your migraines as a secondary, and your insomnia as a secondary. You can file all those with the VA and get paid from the VA. That's fine. This is a lawsuit through mass tort against 3M that's above and beyond your standard VA claim stuff. So with that, I hope that this enlightened you a little bit, gave you some insight. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.